Hey, fourth grade. I know it's approaching the end of the week, so hopefully you've done your language pages, page 468 and 469. I'm going to go over that skill, and I believe that it's going to help you speak and write more effectively. So, first, let's talk about what is a modal verb. They are part of a larger category called auxiliary verbs, and these words add meaning to other verbs. Modal verbs are special because they follow certain rules and are used in specific ways. One thing to remember is a modal verb will always be added to a main verb, and so therefore it's also called a helping verb because it helps the verb. So these modal verbs express different meanings and they depend on the context. So you really have to understand the sentence as a whole in order to be able to determine the modal verb. So let's take a look at some modal auxiliary verbs. We have two C's, two W's, three M's, and one S. So we have can and could. Let's look at our two C's first. Can shows an ability, like I can ride a bike. It can also suggest possibility. You can talk to me on Zoom tonight. And finally, can be a request. Can you help me? So let's look at could. Could shows past ability. I could do the split 7 years ago. It can also be used to ask a question. Could I go to the restroom? Or it can be used to make a suggestion. You could try reading each night to increase your fluency. So let's look at our two W's. Our first W, will. Will indicates a future time. I will speak to my class tonight at 7. It can also be used to make a promise or show willingness. I will study my spelling words this week. It can also be a way to ask a question. Will you help me? Would asks a question. Would you help me? It can also be used to show preferences. I would like to read a book. So now let's look at our three M's. Might. Might is used to show possibility. They might be in the classroom, so we aren't really sure, but there's a possible chance that they might be there. May. May is also used to show possibility. The teacher may be late today. May can also be used to ask permission. May I get a drink from my water bottle? And then the last M is must. Must shows probability or makes a logical assumption. She must have forgotten about her test. Must can also show necessity, like you need to do something. I must call home now. And then the last one are 1S. Should. Should is used to recommend. You should watch this movie. All right, so let's look at our workbook page. So we're going to circle the helping verb in each sentence. Underline the main verb that goes with the helping verb. Well, I always like to start with the main verb. Those are easier to identify. So let's look at number 1. People must play softball according to certain rules. Well, remember, a verb is something that you can do. So we can play. And then what is the verb that helps play? And it is must. Remember, we talked about our 3 M's. So must play. Number 2, A team should have 9 players on the field. Okay, well, we know that people can have would be my verb. And which one of those 8 helping verbs do we see that goes along with it? I see should. Okay, number 3. In slow pitch softball, there might be 1 more player. Okay, if I look at my hint, right here it says the word not is an adverb. It is not a helping verb. Or the word not is an adverb. It is not a helping verb, but it can come between a helping verb and a main verb to make the sentence negative. And we also know that main verbs can sometimes be, that be can sometimes be used as a main verb. So, right there, be. And which word helps be? And we've got the word might. Number 4, teams may play from 3 to 7 innings. Well, that one's an easy one. We know play is our verb. And I've got may in front of it. May is one of my 3 M's. Number 5, a tied score can push the game into extra innings. Okay, well, a verb, remember something we can do, we can push. And as you're noticing, the helping verbs are pretty much always directly in front of the main verb. Number 6, with the creation of softball, people could play year-round. We have play as our main verb, and they could play. Number 7, baseball players would enjoy softball in the off-season. We can enjoy something and would enjoy. And number 8, in summer 2016, softball will not be an Olympic sport. So we already said be can be a main verb. But if you remember the hint, it said the word not is an adverb. It is not a helping verb. So that one can't be it. And if we look at the top, we know that will can be our answer. So will be. All right, let me erase this, and then we're going to move down to the bottom part. Okay, so this is page 469. This was your independent practice. Read the paragraph. The writer would like to replace the underlined phrases. Which verb phrase can best replace the underlined portion of each sentence in numbers 1 through 4? Okay, so first we're going to read the paragraph. People are able to enjoy softball all year round. Most players are usually between the ages of 8 and 70. Many schools have softball teams, but so do many businesses. Companies often have softball teams. Businesses play against other teams for fun or to raise money for charities. Most people definitely agree that the game is fun. Number 1, people are able to enjoy softball all year round. Okay, so right here they're saying are able to. We know that enjoy is my main verb. So which one of my helping verbs mean are able to? And we've got can and could. And remember, could is past tense. And this paragraph is speaking in present tense. So I'm going to say can enjoy. Okay, and let's see if when we replace it, if it makes sense. People can enjoy softball all year round. And I think we would agree that that would make sense. Number 2, most players are usually between the ages of 8 and 70. We've got are usually. Well, usually means that's a possibility. That means that they can be this age or that age. It's not a guarantee. So usually would be similar to possibly. And we've got may and might. But might, as we know, is talking in the future tense. So I'm going to go with may. Most players may be between the ages of 8 and 70. And the reason why I'm not marking this yet is because I'm moving up and down. So I'll mark them at the end so you can see and check your work. Number 3, companies often have softball teams. Well, have is my verb, so we've got to find the verb that could help have. Okay, often. I think often is a possibility. So let's look at that. Could, may, or might. Okay, well, might is not on here. So, and then it says may not. So that's not even an option. So the only choice I have left is could. Companies could have softball teams. And then the last one, most people definitely agree that the game is great fun. Okay, we know that agree is my main verb. Definitely is, we've got to find a synonym. Which one of these means definitely? And we have will and must. Okay, so let's look at those two. Most people will agree that the game is great fun. Makes sense, right? Okay, so let's look at our other option. We said must. Most people must agree that the game is great fun. Well, that kind of sounds like you have to do something. Do you have to agree that it's great fun? No. So, I think our choice would be they will agree. So, I'm going to go through and mark these. We said that number 1, people can enjoy softball all year round. Number 2, most players may be between the ages of 8 and 70. Number 3, companies could have softball teams. And number 4, most people will agree, that means they don't have to, that the game is great fun. All right, I hope this helped a little bit. Y'all have a great night. Thank you so much. Bye.